Hey everyone, it's David. So I want to talk to you about getting more business. And what do I mean by that? So I was working and I would get a deal under contract. I would then get the contract signed. I would verify information at the county. I would be calling the notary. I would be handling 2 or 3 mailings of documents. I would follow up and make sure the county received the paperwork. And for me, it was effective, but it was also slowing me down because I'm really good about me. And I was thinking, okay, wow, this is taking sometimes 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here, an hour here, being on hold, everything. I thought if I could get someone working with me, this would speed me up a lot. And making sure the paperwork's filed, continuing to make phone calls. Again, I was slowed down a lot in this process right here. So the first thing I did was I got an assistant to handle all my paperwork. I give her a percentage of my deals, and I use a board similar to this one. So let's go ahead and look at what I use for my deals. Okay, so this is the Trello board, and I have one on here labeled for teaching, which this is very similar to the board that I use with my business partner. So basically what happens is if it's in the first column, it belongs to her. The second column, I monitor and follow up with phone calls. The third one, if it gets put from here to here, I have to call. And let me explain this. So let's say that it's on June 24th, which it is today. And I always put the record number here. I'll put number, it's usually like a 6-digit number. And then I'll put the name of the person I spoke with. And maybe I'll put something like, as 20K, he knew nothing about. We agreed on a 70-30 split. That means he gets 70%, I get 30%. Send out the contracts. And I always put his number and his email. And I verify that with him on the phone. Now, what I like about this is I can come up here. I usually have a hard print copy of his surplus funds. So I'll do an attachment for my computer and I'll put that in here so my assistant could see it. Anything else I need to put in here will be put in here. So it's now in the first column and it's her responsibility. She'll take it from this column to this column. If the contracts are sent out, she follows up with him, makes sure he received the contract, and if we can go ahead and schedule a notary unless he has one. A lot of people have their own notaries, like at the bank or their neighbor, which is great. But if they don't, we will follow up and schedule a notary. So 2 things happen here. Number one is if she schedules a notary, she'll just put something like, and this is saying me write a comment, this would be her, but 6/25/20 notary was scheduled for 6/26, and she saves it. One thing I do in here is I also, when I first put this in, I put a due date, and I usually give her 24 hours to get these out. I mean, that's what our agreement is. So she'll get them out within 24 hours. Now, once she puts the notary in, you always want a due date because you want to be, you don't want them to get lost in the system. So she'll come up and she might change the due date to 1 week. So she might come up and make it the first Thursday in July and save that. So when I look at this and I see that there's no due date, actually I can see it right here in the bottom, everything looks good, I don't worry about it. But if I see a due date and I see that nothing's happened, or I see 6/24 and there's nothing else, it is my responsibility within 48 hours to follow up with a phone call. These are deals that I say they're hot off the grill. You grab it, it's hot off the grill, and it's getting colder by the second. And you want to get the contracts out immediately. You want to follow up immediately. You want to get the notary immediately because you want to win this person's trust. And this is when it's all vital that you do this. And then right here, if there's a problem, it goes here. There might be an IRS hiccup, which has happened. There might be a title hiccup, which has happened. It goes here. And then I decide how to handle it from here. Do we kill the file? Do we continue to go forward? And it all depends on the case. Once she gets the notary forms in the mail, it goes from here. And then once she sends it off to the county, it goes here. Okay. Once the file gets closed, it goes at the very end and it goes here. So it's really nice because we're able to keep track of this and I can follow a file all the way through. Now, let's say that I talk to somebody and it's a grandmother, it's a sibling, and they say, oh yeah, I'll give him your information. I put my follow-ups here and I usually follow up within a few days like, hey, I know Mr. Smith, you were going to give him my info. I haven't heard back. I just want to check in. This is how we use our Trello board, or we have a board very similar to this Trello board. We use this, we communicate in it, and it's great. And it's a great partnership. I know what columns are mine. She knows what columns are hers. Many skillers use a VA, which I've done in the past. Those can work out fairly well. Just make sure you get the right one. Let me talk to you a little bit about a partner. Okay, first of all, you have to find someone that you can trust and the feeling's mutual. You have to trust them. They have to trust you. Your roles must be defined. I know what I'm supposed to do, especially that vertical board helps me a lot. If they're on one column, they're mine. If they're on another column, they're hers. I know when to follow up, when not to follow up. We have roles defined. You have to know who does what and what each other's responsibilities are. And again, communication is vital. If there's something that doesn't happen, sometimes I miss something where it's been 2 or 3 days, she hasn't heard back. And I usually document on there, I made a phone call, we'll call again in another couple of days. For me, how has this helped me? I make phone calls, I get the verbals under contract, she handles all the rest, and I'm able to easily get 2 or 3 more contracts out a day. I have more than doubled my business doing that. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.